I've had a lot of requests to make some sharpening videos. That is, to me, Nutnfancy. I've delayed in doing that because I really don't think that I am the sharpening guru. I think I'm fairly mediocre when it comes to sharpening, truth be told. I've just tried to be realistic in my skills. Nevertheless, I do sharpen pretty much all my own knives. Now, you'll see me going to Fits and Shop, getting a knife reprofiled, and I think that's critical for me to be able to resharpen it. And I'm going to use this Emerson CQC8 as an example. This is one that I had reprofiled at Fits and Shop. It was a chisel ground blade. Now it's a conventional grind, as you can see, thanks to the reprofiling. And then once that relief cut is where I like it, then I feel I can sharpen it. If the relief cut is jacked up, which it frequently is on a lot of blades as it comes from the factory, I tell you that in my reviews of a specific knife, then I have a hard time sharpening it. I just don't seem to be able to get a good edge on it. So, how do I sharpen knives? There's a lot of different methods I use. I'm going to show you my most common one. I'm going to get to this here in just a second. Now, like a lot of you guys, I have a Spyderco Sharp Maker. There's so much stuff on this desk. Okay, I do use that. It's dusty. You can see I really don't use it that frequently. That's because I like to freehand sharpen, truth be told. And I also have my A.G. Russell ceramic sharpener, which I really like. And I'm going to probably post a video on how to keep your ceramic rods clean. Once they fill up with steel, or maybe not fill up, but they get coated with steel because they are closed cell pretty much, you're going to have to clean them off to get the abrasive quality restored on them. But, so, I do use those occasionally, but I'm always short on time. I got a lot of things going on in my life, a lot of time commitments, and the Nutnfancy project has just added to that. So, and I enjoy it. I really have a fun time with you guys making videos, and I'm going to continue to do it. But with my time constraints, I don't have a lot of time to dick around sharpening knives. I like to do it fast, put an edge on it. And I'm going to use this A.G. Russell kitchen knife. I have a review on this out there, and it's an excellent kitchen knife, Japanese made, and I've talked about it in the review. I like it. However, it doesn't keep an edge like forever, and this one's dull. And we'll get our paper out here just to prove it. Dull. So here's how I'm going to sharpen this knife. I'm going to hit it first with an EZE-LAP diamond sharpener that I got from knivesplus.com for around, I don't know, $17, $18. I like the longer ones. I do have the shorter EZE-LAP diamond sharpeners, and I like those as well. But when I'm at home, I like the longer run, so I can really maintain consistency of angle as I run that blade down. Also, look at the profile of this. I like the oval profile of the EZE-LAP. See that? I really dig that. You can see this one has a fair amount of use on it. They pretty much last forever. I've been using diamond sharpeners since the 80s. I really like them. It's my favorite way to just quickly get an edge on. Now, let's talk a little bit about the abrasiveness of this. I would classify it as medium to low abrasiveness. I have another one I got from yourcornerstore.com, and this is another this is a Lansky version, and this one's a little bit coarse. Of course, you looking on the video, it's really hard for you to tell that, but when you run your blade across it, you can tell that it's going to be very aggressive in taking metal off. I'm not using this one too much. If I have a chip or something in a blade and I need to take it out, I would use this one. The one I usually use is this EZE-LAP. Now, I'm going to hit it with the EZE-LAP, and then I'm going to finish it off with a Lansky steel that I got from yourcornerstore.com. And again, you see I like the long lengths. Some guys don't like steels. They think it rolls the edge. I haven't found that to be the case. I do find, I'm going to show you a caveat when we get to the steel section, or the steel portion of the sharpening process. You got to be real careful with your tip. So let's rock. Here we go. And this is, I don't know, 4.5 inch blade. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend like I'm slicing off a slice of the sharpener, and I'm going to maintain a consistent angle as I go down. By the way, that is the most important thing that you're going to do while you sharpen. If you roll it while I'm running, like I just vary the angle in very minute increments. Maybe on one pass I go shallow, then on the other one I go maybe a steeper on that side. You're going to have an asymmetric edge. That's where the skill in sharpening comes into play. where guys that are really good at sharpening freehand, they are very good at maintaining that consistent angle as they come back and forth. They just have a knack for doing it. I try the best I can, and you'll see I can put a pretty good edge on it, but I still think I kind of suck for sharpening. And the reason I say that because I've seen some gurus that are just magical with a sharpener. I mean, it's just amazing what a guy can do that's skilled, and that's just not a skill I was born with. Sorry. However, I can get it done, and as I'll show it to you. Let's go. So I'm going to go ahead, you'll hear it, I'm going to start sharpening, and I'm going to do my very best to maintain a very consistent angle as I do it. You want to do the same number of passes on each side, and sometimes I'll screw it up. I mean, I'll say, you know what, that last pass wasn't that good. And I'll say, in other words, I may have varied my angle a little bit. Maybe on one pass I was shallower or steeper than I wanted to be, and so I'll have to correct that to get that symmetrical edge back up. If we were to look at that edge microscopically, we want it to be symmetrical. Let me get my little magic mark right here. I'll tell you what I'm talking about, and you guys know this already. Here's my relief cut coming down here, and there's my edge, and I have a grind video out there that kind of talks about it. This isn't the best picture. That's a horrible picture actually, but I think you get the idea. I don't want it to be longer on one side than the other. How much pressure am I applying when I do this? Moderate. It's not super light. I'm just applying moderate pressure. I don't know in terms of pounds how much that would be. Nutnfancy, how many passes do you do? Until I'm sharp. Oh yeah, now we're talking. Now let's put it on the steel. For pass number, I'm going to do it the same number. I try to at least. Sometimes I screw it up. But I'm just trying to get a sharp edge out of it. I don't say, 10 passes and that's all I need. It just depends on the steel I'm sharpening and how dull the knife is and what kind of relief cut I have on the knife. If it's a nice relief cut, I don't really have to spend that much time doing it. So on to the steel. Here's the caveat on the steel. When I run this down on the steel, do not let your edge roll off the steel like that, because what it's going to do is dull and round that tip off. So don't let your tip, is what I meant to say, don't let your tip roll off. Again, a consistent angle. I don't know if you notice this, but I'll lock my thumb in like this against the rod, and then I have a very consistent way that I've come up with on holding the blade on each pass. So as I'm pulling away from me, I try to be very consistent, and as I come, sometimes I'll run my index finger across that as well. Just depends, but be very consistent. It's really hard for me, by the way, doing this tabletop, because I can't angle this longer rod down. Usually I'm pointing it almost straight down to the ground, so it's a little bit unnatural for me doing it tabletop, because normally I'm pointing it about a 45-degree angle down to the ground. I'll try to do it though. Now, why are we using the steel, by the way? Is it adequate as it is, as it came off the EZE-LAP Diamond sharpener? Yeah, it is. And actually, the edge that we have on this A.G. Russell kitchen knife now is a micro serrated edge. You may have heard me say in a lot of my other review videos, you don't need serrations. And that's because if you use a sharpener like this, if we were to look at this microscopically, this A.G. Russell knife, you would see that indeed there are some micro serrations already put in there by the abrasive of the diamond. And it's going to cut really good. What I'm going to do by hitting it on the steel is smooth those out and hone the edge maybe just a little bit. Okay, so onto the steel we go. Make sure there's one section on this steel that I got that it's an imperfection. Right here, see that? That is not where I want my blade to go, because it will nick the blade. It just came that way. No, I'm not going to send it back. It's just too heavy to send back. But I have to work around that imperfection. Otherwise it's going to nick my blade. It's just with this particular steel. Hopefully you guys can see this, because I am not looking through the viewfinder. Okay, let's test it on paper. Not too bad. Again, I'm not the best sharpener. I told you guys that. But for kitchen use, that's a great edge, and it's going to last me probably about a month before I have to resharpen it. And these particular A.G. Russell knives I've had in service for about 4.5 years. They've seen a lot of use. Never been in a dishwasher. I never wash a good kitchen knife. That's just ridiculous. But the wear you see on that handle is just from hand washing, truth be told. Man, I love these knives. They're great, though. So as I drag my hand across there, I'm happy with that edge. There's no way I could drag my thumb with any type of tension whatsoever unless I want to just split it wide open. So that's freehand sharpening from Nutnfancy. I'm not the expert, but that's how I do it, day in, day out, and I can put a decent edge on it. There's guys that can do a lot better job than me, no doubt. And you saw my tools of the trade, the EZE-LAP Diamond Sharpener. You'll see this on knivesplus.com. That's a great website too. They didn't have this one, so this is a Lansky steel, something like a, I don't know, 18 inches long overall length. There you have it. I'll show you how to use the regular sharpeners, maybe the A.G. Russell ceramic sharpener and the Sharp Maker, maybe later on. I'm not in a hurry to do it, though. Thanks for tuning in, guys. More coming. I'm maxed out, though. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.